Well, all right. Hey, everybody. My name is Todd Bright. Welcome to the All in Gesture feedback and question and answer session that we're doing here on Wednesday evenings. And welcome all of you on Instagram and YouTube. Awesome. Welcome to my members over in our member area. Who's here tonight? Erica and Luke are in the chat. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for submitting some work today, guys. And checking that chat in Instagram. Hello, hello. Reagan. Awesome. Cool. Reagan said, my favorite class. I miss it so much. One of my best summers. Thanks, Reagan. We miss you too. Hope the drawing has been going strong, though. So we had some really great theme this last week with our in our gesture drawing class. And again, hello. This is the All in Gesture, which is a weekly online gesture drawing workshop. And we have a live model here in the studio, and we have a live chat. So all of our members and guests come in, and we're drawing and bantering, and it's a good time. So anyway, that's it. And tonight, we're going to be looking at some of our work. So we're going to do a little feedback session. And for those of you on Instagrams or obviously you members or YouTube, if you have any questions, I was a Disney animator, I'm an Imagineer, and oh hey Dory, I see you in the chat. And so we could talk about animation and do things like that too. But let's get into some drawings, shall we? Yes. All right, hang on one second, pushing some buttons here. Come on, right. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, first up we have Miss Sarah Kaysen. Sarah is one of our longtime members. I'm going to make this a little smaller here. Oh, where are you? Oh, hang on. There we go. Make this a little smaller here, a little tidy. I just wanted to highlight this drawing because I think it's great. Great job, Sarah. I love the silhouette that you had here with your guy. So again, last week we had a really fun theme. Michael was our model, and he did a great job being Igor, and or Igor, however you pronounce it. And anyway, it was really fun because we did in the month of June a whole Universal Studios, what do you call it, Epic Universe themes to celebrate each of the lands. So I thought that would be fun. So this was for the monsters land, and this is a walk around character, Igor, who's Frankenstein's henchman. He's kind of unhinged, and I'm presenting the character to you guys because as we start to unpack some of our artist's work and talk about it, you know, just like when you're drawing and working with a model and a character, it's like you want to get into the head of the character. Who are we talking about? But anyway, really well done, Sarah, and I love this because of the silhouette you got there with the hand. With the hand, and during the class, he was holding onto a skull and he was fighting with this thing, and it was really funny. But really nice drawing. This one's pretty nice too. Things like that. So Sarah, really strong stuff this week. I think you have a pretty nice staging here as well. With the skull, he's talking to it. He's a little crazy. This one, let's see here. This one, I remember the gag. Okay, he was holding. We had a leg bone up, and I guess the face character in Universal Studios, he walks around with body parts, but he makes it fun, I guess, because you know. Severed limbs could be fun. Who knows? And but all that to say, that's kind of who this guy is. And yeah, let's see here. Oh, hey, Dory. Cool. All right. So this one, he was holding up a leg, and so just to let you guys know who weren't here, he was holding up a leg, and it was kind of like this idea of like, oh, it's a stinky foot, you know, like pew. And I don't remember the pose. Let's see here. So I'm gonna think about this, but the area I'm kind of focusing on, Sarah, is this area here, and I'm wondering if we could open that up. And right now, it almost looks like he could either be scratching his head or his nose. But if I want to get this gag of like, pew, you know, you could do different things. You know, just to go with the pose that you have a little bit. Let's see. I just want to make it read, so I might take some creative license here and really play with that silhouette. Okay. But your proportions look great, all that stuff. So maybe like lifting his head up. I'm gonna go with what you did with his hand there a little bit. Let's see. So if this is his foot, he's holding up or whatever. Oh, that's right. And he had those really big chemical gloves on. He had a big. So our character Igor had like a chemical kind of apron and chemical gloves. So all that to say, it's like getting that. You want to get away from it. You know, it's like maybe tilt the head up. And I kind of freed up the silhouette here. So again, if I were to color this in, right, that's what I mean with silhouette. And not that I want to shade in my drawings, I'm just trying to make a point here. But yeah, all that to say, it kind of frees up that area a little bit there's a little bit of a tangent in here where it's just kind of like his toes are almost touching the chin and everything's just kind of bunched together. So, and you can go the other way too, you know. You can, I don't know if this will be the right solution or not, but let's see here. Maybe he's, again, you know, we could kind of be inspired by our models, right? But not always just do what the model's doing. So when I think about like, pew, like maybe I want to push, like pull away, you know, from our stinky object here. And you can go so far as to turn the head. It's like really play, you know, like, because Sarah, your drawings are getting really solid. You know, I can see the progress that you've made. And I think start playing more and more with performance, like try stuff, you know. Maybe like take the pose yourself. Like in animation, we do it all the time. So it's just like I want to, like, what's the best solution here? Just like I'm gonna just torture myself and bring it closer, or do I want to get away from it? You know. So all that to say, uh, play around, but keep it readable. But really nice stuff, Sarah. Erica, Scalco. All right, here we go. All right, here's a bunch of stuff in here. Let's turn off some of these layers. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Let's see here. Really funny. Sorry, I was just looking at your drawings there. Again, more of this idea of silhouette. So anyway, in the class we got really full of a lot of puns and stuff. We got the skull was like eating the foot, so he has a foot in his mouth and stuff like that. And again, I think with this one, the standing one, really considering the oh wait, sorry, I got sidetracked. I'm looking at YouTube here, not YouTube. I'm looking at Instagram. Uh, Popping Art says I want to make time to attend your live drawing session. So far, I love what you put on YouTube. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, come join us anytime. Yeah, our sessions are live on Saturdays, but they're also recorded and posted pretty quickly after that. So you will have posted, meaning you'll have access to the recording, and yeah, same day. All right, so I almost wanted to, and a similar thing with Erica, I want to give your guy a little bit more neck, but there's something I like about his arm up. He almost looks like a, what do you call that, hunchback kind of? Yes, master, that whole, that whole thing. So let's keep it, okay? But I would just make a little bit, and I'm talking about this area, bring it, clear that body just a little bit. I think he has the skull in one hand, and it looks like he's got the foot. He's like eating the, I don't know what's going on. He's eating the foot or the end of the leg or something like that. There we go. So I'm not sure if I like my solution here, but one thing I do like is that I'm bringing him away from the. I think I'm taking your thing a little further, like your hunch idea. And I'm going to follow this around to the arm here. I feel like I'm smashing it together here a little bit, but and with your little skull guy, I would almost turn it, even though it might not have been like that in the class. Maybe turn him sideways, you know, so we could see the in his mouth kind of a thing, just to help that gag out a little bit. Sometimes you have to turn stuff just to make it read, okay? So yeah, I kind of cashed in on your hunch idea, but I went ahead and followed the arc of the body around a little bit. I dropped the head down. I had the other arm kind of come out from that back arm, you know, I don't know, all that to say. And I cleared that body just like I did with Erica's, or not Erica, with Sarah's drawing. So yeah, that's all. But really fun. I could tell you had a good time with some of these gags and things. This one's kind of fun. Kind of our unhinged dude. Let's see your other one here. Okay, I'm gonna bring this over a little bit. Hey, nobody asked you Photoshop. All right. It's a little dark, but I think it's showing up. Awesome, awesome. Make this a little larger. Bring it down here. Okay, bear with me, guys. Okay. So with this one, I think he was like, had just gotten a fight with a little skull character. I know it sounds weird if you weren't there. And it was weird, but it was really fun and weird. So we had a lot of fun with that character. Anyway, he's kind of laughing at him and pointing because I think he, you know, finished fighting him. I don't know, something like that. And then they made up and were friends. But I feel like we could do something with this area, and I don't quite remember the pose. Oop. I guess I need to come down here so it doesn't run over my head. Hey, Matt and Jenny. They said it was fun and weird. It was supposed to be. I love it. Yeah, it's like part of me wants to make it really like I want to bring that hand above his leg, because passing in front of his knee there, I think you're hurting the silhouette. It's like, again, if I were to color yours in all the way, it would, that hand wouldn't read. This is supposed to be his glove or whatever. Sorry, just doing a quick doodle here. But yeah, and you could cock the head back or just kind of, you know, keep it the way you have it. But again, playing around with silhouettes, it seems to be a little theme this evening, which is totally cool. But yeah, so bring it out a little bit, and then you could be like, he could do a belly laugh. That kind of thing. He had goggles on pretty much the whole class, which are really fun. He had this kind of crazy hair. So yeah. Yeah. Something like that. And you could even lower the knee if you had to get it out of the way. I don't want to make it parallel, but I do want to fix that silhouette somehow, but that's all. All right, Erica. Well done. Thank you for being so faithful to share your work these last several weeks. Really cool. And the other Erica, Erica Bay. She's in the house tonight. Hey, Erica. Um, let's see, this guy, I think he was doing like that knuckle crack, like getting ready to experiment or whatever it was. And let's see what we can do with it. I'm gonna shrink this down a little bit. Let's get this hooked up here. Boop. There we go. So with this one, I think just the arm proportions kind of got a little small, and what can we do here to push that attitude of cracking the knuckles, you know? Wish I had my drawing in front of me here, which one it is. But just like that idea, it's like you have a nice tilting back of the, whatchamacallit, of the, you know, the back. Good morning. Been a long day. Come on. So I'm digging that. But I think we can pull, or push rather, those arms further out. But I like the wide stance you have. That's very cool. It's very confident, you know what I mean? Kind of a pose. But I think we could push those shoulders forward a little bit. And let's see here. It's going to do a crazy hair shape. So all that to say, just kind of fixing the proportions a little bit on the arms, which isn't that big of a thing. But I think too, like having those shoulders come out forward a little bit just to get that pull, I think, a little stronger. But yeah, that was about it with that one. A theme I'm starting to recognize with the work, and this is something that I strive to do with my my gestures, but also with my animation or concept work or whatever. It's like really incorporating the whole body into our idea, and using all of our pieces and parts and things like that, you know. Oh, hang on. Cancel. Just going to shrink this down a second here. Hang on. All right, cool. There we go. All right, hang on a second, guys. Pushing buttons over here. Hang in there. There we go. Okay. Where were we? Very good. Okay, back again. Yeah, I don't know. This one's pretty good. I might just tweak a little bit. I like the vibe of what you're just going on in your drawing, Erica. So yeah, this is one of those characters, like we talked about it in the workshop, but like really like pushing this idea of the manicness of this guy. You know, like he's just kind of off unhinged. You know, and kind of going there a little bit. And so you might do some interesting things with the poses. You know. Um, I'm just gonna tweak this a little bit. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I think I'm just pulling them away just a little bit. Again, it's a silhouette thing. Yeah, just pulling it away. I like your shoulders up thing though a lot. That's really cool. My proportions got weird, but again, just kind of freeing up a little bit of that space. And that's about it, but good stuff this week, Miss Erica. Courtney! What have we got, Courtney? All right, so we have some. I think he's about to whack his enemy. There he is. Yeah, this was the pose when he was like gonna just totally beat on the little skull guy because they're having a big fight. Proportions look good. Let's see what we can do here. This is one of those ones. Let's see. This got a little flat with the action. It looks like you have I'm going to go with what you did with the legs here. It looks to me that the character's right leg is crossing in front, I think, of the body, which is nice. I might try and drag the hands a little bit, like he's kind of leading with his leg, just trying to think of the mechanics, right? Like he's leading with the leg, stepping. I'll do it over here. Trying not to fall down. Stepping, and he's got that twist to the body, which I think you have there. Except you're drawing the contours a little bit. I'm trying to, but yeah, he's got a little bit of a twist there. And then I would maybe let those arms come last. It's almost like right now, this almost looks like the hands are, and this is maybe what the model did, but when you really think of like the locomotion, is that right? Locomotives? That's a train. Anyway, when you think about the motion here, like the arms would be dragging, right? So, but right now they almost look like they're moving with the torso. Does that make sense? It's almost like he's going like that rather than going like that, like really dragging. So yeah, just dragging stuff a little bit. And sometimes the model will strike a pose like that because they're just, in the moment. But it's a great reference, That's why it's always good to like stop and really think before we leap. And that's, it's hard to do. I get it. It's like he's playing croquet or something. But anyway, all that to say, just really considering that and that big apron. Yeah, and that's all. But yeah, we're still here for a little while longer. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. This is feedback and Q&A day. What up? This one's pretty fun. Yeah, Corey, I like this one. Let's see. I'm trying to think. yeah, I like you paid attention to the angles, but I might. These angles are the similar. I'm talking about the heads or the shoulders and the hips. I wish I could see the regular pose there. I think I have it. Let me see. Let's see here. Maybe I don't. Sorry guys, I have my back to you, but I'm trying to find the pose here for this guy. Maybe I don't have it for some reason. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I did something a little different with mine. Let's see here. Since I don't have the video in front of me, but I like the chest out that you did. Very cool. But I almost want to do some opposites here a little bit. I'm going to pick a side here. I do like your leg that you did, this swooping leg here, so I'm going to play with that. It's okay to have, sorry I'm drawing on top of your drawing here. It's okay to have the legs spread apart or whatever, that's totally cool. But I do want to try to pick the, I think this arm got a little short on yours, like the, he's kind of holding up the skull to his head. Kind of like it's actually no, it's sitting on his shoulder. So I'm thinking I want to prop it up there, you know, like he's, hey, how's it going, Scullivan? You know, and so I almost wanted to reverse that angle of your shoulders just a little bit. I like that head angle that you chose, like the tilt of the head. That was really good. Yeah. And I do like the arm that you did there. Very nice. Just kind of how it wraps around. I think that was the pose, yeah. So yeah, all that to say. And the torso got a little long there, so just watch those proportions. And again, line of action is a great way to help with proportions. Those gloves were a lot of fun. Those big old shapes. But anyway, that's all. So great stuff, Corey. Keep on trucking. Oh yeah, I'll do the same. Mr. Scott Strube. Mr. Scott, you submitted this stuff last week, but a little late in the afternoon, and so I didn't get them. So here they are. So we did a Harry Potter theme as well. We did Harry Potter 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was really fun. Anyway, so those of you who are on Instagram, you could ask some questions tonight. This is feedback and Q&A. We're just kind of going through some work. Scott, I really like this drawing. This was a fun one. Yeah, that was a tough hand angle, but I dig it. All right, this one. Yeah, I think just proportions got a little bit interesting. Gosh, I don't remember. It's really fun though. I like the head, and she's holding the wand in her mouth. I don't know. There's some fun things going on, but I feel like when we do the standing poses, and Scott, you're so good at this all the time though, man, because you do lots of pushing and doing a lot of extremes and things. But I'm just gonna pick on this one because you sent it to me. But oops, I'm gonna move this a little bit around so I can have some room here to draw. Hang in there. Don't explode. Okay. What was I going to say? Yeah. All right. So standing poses. It's like I always try to, don't always succeed, but try to find something interesting about it. It's like maybe give it a little bit more of a lean. Like in this pose, she's, I think she's learning spells or she's frustrated. I forget what was going on. But I almost want to, or maybe she's, I don't know. Again, like that silhouette thing. I want to, and I like the book you got, really nice. Just want to bring that out just a little bit more. She had a lot of layers. I remember all that robes and scarves and dress and everything. That was a really fun day too. Crystal did a great job. But if she's learning spells, like I don't know the story with your hand there, but I'm trying to think like maybe she's like doing some interesting thing with her hand as she's waving trying a spell. I don't know. Oh, that looks like I went off the reservation there. Hang on a second. Whoa, hang in there. Whoa, I got 2 different layers I'm drawing on. That's not cool. Let's see here. Well, hang in there, guys. A little technical fart on my end. Let's get rid of that one. What I wanted to do was bring that hand visible because I think I was burying myself. There we go. Well, I just made my drawing tiny, but that's okay. Technical stuff, you know. But all that to say, I was thinking, okay, she's doing wizard stuff. She's learning, right? She had her hair in that cool ponytail. But maybe just thinking like some really cool like hand gesture. Thinking like Chernobog from Night on Bald Mountain. He has those really amazing hand gestures when he's conjuring up stuff. Very spooky. Anyway, all that to say, little details like that can help. And with standing poses, again, Scott, and again, you're really good at this, but I'm going to say it out loud, but just try to give something a little bit of interest there. This kind of solution leads the eye up to this whole area, all that business going on in there. So if that makes sense. That's all. Great stuff as usual. Yeah. Mr. Scott, that's all I got, man. Alrighty. Alright, I gotta change the camera around here a little bit. Oh, cool. Matt and Jenny. Mr. Matt had a question. So I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to see if there's any more drawings that came my way tonight from my members. Oh, there are a few more. I put all this stuff together this morning, but not this afternoon, so let's see if I can get yours in there, Mr. Luke. There it is. Luke had some good stuff this week. So yeah, I'm going to answer Matt's question and drag in some stuff here. Sorry, I'm doing some technical stuff. Luke, some really nice stuff this week, man. Really fun. Really, really cool. Sorry about the radio silence there. Just scrolling through. All right. Mr. Luke, got your stuff in there. And looks like Dory got some stuff in there. All right, hang in there. Sorry about the radio silence. And Matt, I can answer your question. So thank you for your question, dude. And then we'll call it a night. Let's see here. All right, sorry guys, just setting up a few more drawings to look at. Okay, let's talk and draw here. All right, very good. Okay. All right, Mr. Luke, very cool. Trying to think of that pose. I'm gonna look at one I did since I don't have the video in front of me. And then yes, I'm gonna listen to that question there. Oh yeah, okay. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm trying to think of this pose, and I'm gonna start noodling and then answer that question. But he's like, I just want to. I feel like the hips and the shoulders are all the same angle, and I just want to do a little. I mean, I like the tilt of the head that you got, which is cool. Yeah, let's try to see what he did. And let's see if we can mess around a little bit. All right, so let me see this question here. All righty, Mr. Matt. Matt asks, okay, is this the difference between a key drawing versus an in-between frame of animation? I guess the question is, what is the difference between a key drawing versus an in-between frame of animation? So the difference of the keys are also known as extremes, and extreme drawings are basically the most important drawings of your scene, where maybe the drawing begins or where it really lands on a moment there. It could basically be the beginning of a new action or the end of an action, and things like that. So like your first drawing of your scene and the last drawing of your scene are definitely going to be key drawings or extreme drawings. And it's basically the beginning and the end of an action. And everything else in between that are in-betweens. See? That's where they get the word. And breakdowns are really important in-betweens. That's something that there might be an arc of emotion involved, and that will require a different drawing, not just a straight half or a straight third in your spacing of an in-between, but it might go outside of an arc. It's really important. They call that a breakdown. So yeah. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Super important. All right, so here we go. What can we do here? All right, I like the head. So Matt said, we want to push the poses so that they resemble extremes, question mark? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. It's like, what we're drawing is, so much of what we're doing is acting, right? And these drawings are key moments in the performance of your scene, basically. Even if it's, I like to think of it that way, even if it's an illustration and things like that. So, yeah, man. All right, so I'm messing around here with Mr. Luke. Looking at the drawing I did just for reference there. He did have that really cool hand gesture. I love that. He got that nice, that break of the wrist there. They're basically the two buddies hanging out, Mr. Skullivan and his and Igor. And Igor is kind of pointing to him like, you know, like you would like a celebrity, like, hey, you know, kind of like, hey, that's my this guy. But I like the expression that you did on Mr. Igor. Very cool. I've already forgotten his hair shapes, whatever that was. It's kind of messy hair. But one thing I liked, you know, we've been talking lately a little bit more about using the pose to guide the eye around a little bit. And I kept your lean there. Kind of playing around with my legs. But all that to say, just I was saying that because there's something about this arm here leaning in that kind of lends itself to nicely to pointing to the sorry, I'm doing some technical stuff here real quick. Ah, where'd you go? Uh-oh. Well, crud. Sorry, guys. Hang on there. I can't see him. All right. Anyway, but it kind of leans kind of nicely there. It kind of points to the head. And it kind of creates this little moment here, this little point. It creates a nice little silhouette. I don't know. So I was trying to bring out Skullivan here a little bit. You know, and you might bring that finger out here and put it in the silhouette of this negative space. So it's just tweaking. I'm just tweaking, you know. Like if I were to take this to a finished illustration, I might really consider, you know, the design of this space here, you know, the negative space and things like that. But yeah, that's about it, man. That's about it. Hang on 1 second here. Gonna do something. A little technical thing. Where are you? Huh. Sorry, guys. Doing some tech stuff tonight. Wow. All right. Sorry, guys. Doing a quick tech thing. Okay. Okay, never mind. All right. Well, This is giving me a hard time, but I'm going to draw on the checkerboards. Okay, never mind. Okay, Mr. Dory. Awesome. All right. I don't know if you saw Mr. Dory, the pulling of the arms vibe from earlier. So I'm going to go with that one. I think you got that nice lean back, which is nice. I might simplify it a little bit. Like I might bring that leg in and straighten those arms out, like really exaggerate it, you know? And you could show off that silhouette of the, whatchamacallit there. The silhouette of those triangular gloves, which is really fun. Cool. So yeah, I think the A-frame legs can be okay, but I'm tempted to kind of bring it in just a little bit there. Cool. Alrighty. And then this one, I think this was a tough pose, which is I know we just did this for Luke's pose also, but the let's see, I'm trying to think of what the pose was. I'm looking at mine, a little cheat sheet over there. Trying to do something a little different. You kind of have your hand off of him. I'm sorry, the head off of the hand, which is totally fine. So maybe we could play with that a little bit. But I'm still tempted to do that lean, just to kind of, like he's leaning on his buddy's head. You know, like, it's kind of like, hey, you know. Still want to get that lean, and so I'm going to open up like this area here. I kind of want to open that area up. Let me get the skull in there. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And then this area, crisscross applesauce, right? Yeah, he doesn't have to be pointing to him. You can do whatever, but yeah, I'm just tempted to get that lean in there a little bit. Just instead of, just to get that lean, get that weight a little bit on there on the skull. And if you wanted to do something like to lift his head up, he's like, maybe he's laughing there, having a good time. That's totally fine too, you know. But yeah, man. The thing I like about your work, Dory, is like you're very bold with your decisions, you know, and confident, which is good. Now we're just honing in. And again, really thinking about those proportions and kind of pulling back a little bit, like your eye, you know, even if you have to hold it away from you a little bit just to kind of get a read on the proportions. Sometimes when we draw tight, it can we lose focus. We're kind of focusing on one thing and moving around the figure instead of really looking at the whole as we plot. Cool? Yeah, man. Well, that's all I got. That is everybody. Great job, everybody. Awesome, awesome. Mr. Luke, you're welcome. Dory, thanks for coming. Putting your stuff out there. Everybody, Erica also. Both Ericas. And Sarah. Who else was here? Mr. Scott. Awesome. Well, Matt and Jenny, thanks for coming. And yeah, you guys rock. Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July to all of you in All in Gesture Nation. And what else? That's about it. We're going to be doing a pre-recorded session. Mr. Ralph is back with us. He's the crazy uncle who showed up for the 4th of July celebration. And I already can tell you he did a fantastic job. So make sure you don't miss that one. And we're going to celebrate with the family this weekend. And that's it. That's all I got. You guys rock. Where's my buttons? There we are. Okay, found the buttons. Okay. You guys have a great week. I appreciate you. We'll see you next Wednesday here for Redline Live. And we'll see you Saturday for All in Gesture. Get some drawing done. And take your sketchbook to your 4th of July party. All right, see you guys.